Welcome to Carriage MetroPark Riding Center. My name is Katherine Berg. I'm the Riding Center Manager, and today's video is about grooming a horse. And we have Drifter here. He is a 9-year-old appendix quarter horse. He's one of our newer horses to the program and was rescued from Copper Horse Crusade. We also have Duncan that's over here. He's being the babysitter. So reasons why you groom a horse. The most obvious would be to clear and clean any part of them where the saddle or equipment's going to be so they don't rub or create sores. You're also looking for any kind of first aid needs, cuts, scrapes, bumps. It's good quality bonding with your horse, especially with new riders, just getting comfortable being around a horse on the ground before they actually get on the horse. And then it's also good for the horse's coat and circulation. Ideally, you'd want to groom your horse every day. But definitely before and after they are ridden or worked, and especially a lot of times in the spring when they're shedding out their winter coats. Okay, so the first tool we're going to use is a hard curry. It's a rubber comb that has little teeth here. And this is going to be the first tool. We'll use it on all the fleshy, muscly parts of the horse on both sides in circles. And we're going to just stand to his side here. He's tied up in a cross tie, but you can also tie them to a hitching post. And I'm just going to have him push back here. And this is just going to pull up the dust and debris and any hair that he's shedding out. They shed a little bit of their summer coat, so you'll see a little bit of hair coming up here, making room for that winter coat that's going to grow pretty soon. And a lot of horses like this. It's almost like a massage. So you can do it fairly firm. You just want to make sure that you avoid their face and legs with this comb. It's a hard rubber, so it can do a little bit of damage to those tendons that are close to the skin. And he's going to definitely look worse as you're currying him. So you're pulling up all that dirt and debris. You can just get underneath his belly. Do his back and withers up here. This is like the main area where the saddle will be, but you want to do the entire horse when you're grooming. When you come to the back end, we just have our students stand even with the back legs, so the horse is aware of where you are, but you're not standing directly behind the horse. You can just kind of do the fatty part here on the gaskin. And then you would go around and do the other side. Okay, after the hard curry, we're going to use a soft curry. People can use like a little mitt that has nubbies on it. This is just for legs and face. So you can just start here. A lot of times they'll get debris or dirt behind their ears, and this is where the bridle would go. So you definitely want to do that. If you're doing above their eyes, it's nice to just kind of cup your hand over his eye so you don't get all that hair and dust in his eye. Some horses don't like their faces brushed, so they'll let you know. They'll pin their ears back a little bit or kind of bump their heads, so you could just skip it unless it's really dirty. Sometimes I just use my fingernail to get some stubborn dirt out of there, and you can just kind of do underneath the halter. And then when you're doing the legs, you just kind of come in here to the cross tie with them. I'm just going to push them over a little bit. I'm just going to bend at my waist and just kind of I just kind of go back and forth here, but you can do circles. This is where having like a little mitt that fits into your hand is nice too. And then you can just do all 4 legs this way, just really kind of getting that dirt out of there. This is super soft, so I can just really press. I don't have to be super careful here where there's tendons here that are very close to the surface. And then the hind legs, the same thing, just bending at the waist and just kind of getting all the dirt here. A lot of times they can have scrapes and even swelling or bumps on their legs, so it's really good to inspect the legs and keep those nice and clean. Do his hock here. And then you would just go to the other side and do the other 2 legs. Okay, after you've curried their entire body, then we're going to use a stiff brush, and this brush is going to be just Thanks, Victor. For his fleshy, muscly parts, there is definitely an order to the brushes. You definitely want to start with the curry first. That's going to bring all the dust and mud and loose hair to the surface. And then you will use the stiff brush, and you'll just start right here behind his ears. And you're just going to do short little flicks with the direction of the hair. And you're just going to take all that dust and extra stuff that came up with the curry and just loosen that and pull that off his coat. And a lot of horses like this too. He's kind of leaning into it. You can do the top parts of their legs with this brush, but then the bottom half from the knee down, and then the hock down on the back legs, and then the face you would use a softer brush because these bristles are fairly stiff. And the horse will let you know if he enjoys it or not. Some horses are a little more sensitive than other horses, so you just want to pay attention to their body language, their ears, kind of what they're telling you, if they're enjoying it or not. Okay, the next brush after you've used the stiff brush on their fleshy, muscly parts is a soft brush or a dandy brush. And you can use this on all parts of his body. So I'm just gonna stand here just to the side of his front and do his face. And this is just gonna be gentle strokes with the direction of the hair. You can still cup your hand over his eye if you'd like to just kind of keep anything from getting in that. And this is, you're just going to, this actually just brings the shine of the coat out, and it helps kind of lay all the hair flat down on one direction. You can just do under his mane here. You can just do his whole body, and you're just kind of doing long, gentle strokes, and you can kind of see his shine come out. It's going to be a little dusty, so could have done a little bit better job, maybe used a damp cloth to get some of that dust off of him, but it's definitely clean enough to be ridden. There's nothing prickly or muddy or scratchy, and you always want to double check after you've done with this brush on the whole body with your hands on the withers, the back, and the heart girth area where the equipment's going to be to make sure there's nothing hidden that could rub. Okay, so after we've finished all the body brushes, we've got a hair brush for him. So horses are different than humans. They don't have the sensitive nerve endings that we do at the base of their hair. So I can tug on this and it doesn't seem to bother him. I mean, he can feel the pressure, but it's not as sensitive as human hair. But you still want to start at the bottom of what you're brushing in case there are some snarls. With the forelock here, this little bit of hair here between his ears, you can do from the front, but you just don't want to stand right in front of him. In case he would spook, he might move pretty quickly right in front of you. And then with the mane, he doesn't have a very long mane. We've actually pulled it to make it shorter, to make it more manageable. But you would just start here at the bottom. And his isn't very snarly, so you can just start here at the bottom and then just kind of work your way all the way up to the crest where it's attached. Sometimes you can put a detangler in there to kind of help so that the ends don't split or splay. And I'm just using my hand. Here's a backdrop. Okay. So then with the tail, you just want to stand to one side of him instead of right behind for safety. And what I like to do is just kind of take a chunk of tail, and you're just going to start at the bottom. So if it's really snarly, you could use a comb or your fingers to kind of break those pieces apart so you're not splitting the ends. And then as you get up closer, you can just kind of add more hair and then come up closer to the dock where it attaches. And we're just going to do the entire tail. I did put some detangler in here, so that'll help. He has a really nice, long, thick tail, so you just want to do the tail in chunks or sections. Okay, the last tool that we're going to use is the hoof pick. You can definitely start with the hoof pick. There's no order for that, but you definitely want to pick out all 4 of his feet. So I'm just gonna stand facing back towards his tail using my right hand that's closest to his body. And I'm just gonna pat him here so he knows what's coming, and I'm just gonna run my hand towards the back, and he's really good about picking this up. And then I'm just gonna support his hoof with my left hand, because I'm actually right-handed, and I'm going to use the hoof pick with my right hand. And you're looking for these grooves here on either side of this kind of fleshy triangle, which is called the frog. And you're just gonna pick in here. And we're just looking for rocks. He's got a little bit of dirt in there, so we're just gonna get that out. You want to do it fairly gentle, but you want to have enough oomph there to kind of get whatever's in those grooves out. You always want to pick away from yourself so that if it slips, it doesn't hit you or him, and you're not flicking stuff in your eyes. And then I'm just gonna let him put his foot down, and you just want to keep your feet out of range for him if he puts his foot down quickly. Okay, this is our post-grooming shot of Drifter. Just let him graze a little bit here. The chestnut coloring, so he's really coppery and just really shines in the sun.